to order. It's 5:32. Do we have roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Angie Osterman? Here. Justin Allen?
Here.
Eduardo Quiroga?
Here.
Melissa Amici? Cristina Davila?
Here.
Teresa Fonseca?
Here.
Juan Herrera? Mark Gonzalez? And Michelle Romani.
Here.
For the record, Madam Chair, you do have one.
Thank you. We'll consider approval of the minutes.
I did read the minutes before I came here.
Can we scroll?
Yeah. To page 5.
Is that correct?
Go up to 5.
Those are mine.
Let's scroll a little down. This. Okay, as in, okay. Just scroll down a little bit more. Okay.
Any discussion?
No, I move that we approve the minutes.
Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Next is the public hearing. Do- I'm sorry, a citizen comments. Do anybody
There's
sign up
no
for
comments.
citizens? Okay. The public hearing, the first item, new improvements to existing structure, install new sign at existing building, location Lot 2, Block 73, Western Division, commonly known as 1210 Matamoros Street, owner, property owner, City of Laredo, applicant, City of Laredo Community Development Department, Arturo Garcia, Director, representative, City Department, Jose A. Nava, historic landmark, Southern Hotel, locally designated historic landmark, HDLB-14B-2018. Is there a motion to open a public hearing?
I move to open up the public hearing HDLB 14B 2018.
A second?
I second.
Discussion? Or presentation?
Okay. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Linda Teniente. I am the land acquisition manager for the City of Laredo. And Jose Nava is the representative. However, his wife just had a baby this week, so you're going to have to work with me for tonight. So I first of all, I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to make the presentation. In reviewing the minutes from the last meeting that was here in June, there was a presentation that was made by Nava stating that there was some colors that were being proposed for the food pantry. This is a food pantry that the city's partnering with Joseph's Storehouse, and what they do, they provide, they're actually addressing the desert shortage in the downtown area. And based on Mr. Lunadis's and building department's, can I ask
Well,
that?
excuse me, just to recognize Mark Gonzalez, because the meeting will go on, and so we
Yes.
can put it on the record that he's here. Thank you.
And that he arrived at 5:38, so that can be reflected
Oh,
on the
okay,
record.
let's say, oh, okay, so,
Right.
yeah, I think we got a copy.
Y'all got both?
Yeah, I think we,
We didn't get a copy of the colors.
yeah, it's right here.
Okay.
It's in the, no, right, but in our packets, all we got was black and white.
Okay, there is
There's
a
one here.
colored one. Yep, does everyone have a colored one?
Michelle,
Yes.
everyone has an updated from what they provided.
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
just want to make sure everyone has it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, we're-
Miss Alejandrina.
Oh, it's this.
Oh, yes, everyone has it. Thank you.
Yes, everyone has it.
Mark
We should
Gonzalez.
already have it or not.
They have it on digital copy now.
We're gonna go with flash.
Okay.
Based on what was presented last time, I think what the issue was that there was a multi-set of colors that was put into the design. And what happened is we went back and we now checked with the historical, the colors that are acceptable to be used in a historical building. And these are the colors that were designated as historical acceptable for the signage. Also, our building department said that the signs were in conformance to the ordinance and guidelines of those signs. So now what's before the commission today is to accept. And we also gave two priorities or gave two options to the food pantry representatives. We gave them the set of colors, which are these that you have before you. They took away the original one that was presented to you. And if that is not acceptable, Pastor Lucy's willing to accept just a black and white. What they're wanting to do is bring some, they want to maintain the facade and the historical integrity of the building, but they also want to make it evident to the surrounding neighbors that this is open and available to them, and that's the whole purpose of it. As you all know, that with the H-E-B store being pulled out of the downtown area, it limits the food purchases for the elderly, and it's mainly for the elderly people that are living in the downtown area that don't have a means of transportation to the bigger H-E-B grocery stores. So this is the purpose of it. They're just wanting to create a better aesthetically signage in order to advise the citizenry there what is available to them and that they are there. And this is pretty much what the whole purpose of this signage is for.
So the black and white, I guess, can we ask questions?
Sure.
The black and white, is that the white area, is that translucent right now? Or is it opaque as the colored image?
This is going to be a sign that will be placed on the top above the awning area.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at this.
It's not on the storefront like the elevation show? You see how on the window, on the glass?
That is a smoke, or how do you
Okay.
call it, a frost effect,
Yeah.
right?
So the other one
exactly.
is above the canopy, there's
Above
more
that.
signage?
Right.
And those frosted glasses are already in place?
Yes, ma'am, they are.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think those went for
No,
approval.
those did not go for approval.
And in the guidelines, it does say that there is a limitation. When we got this last time, we got it a little bit last minute, so we were not able to really, I didn't get a chance to really review in comparison to what we had been presented. I've had a lot more time now to go back and review the guidelines. And I think that the only thing that had been, that we really didn't have a say-so with was on the actual location. The location is pretty much set as far as what the city planning and zoning department had approved.
Building department.
The building-
For the ordinance.
For the ordinance, the sign had to go there. There are some questions that I have as far as the way that it's going to be mounted on there. I don't know if you're able to answer some of those questions, but I believe last time we were presented with kind of like a box, that it's going to be like within a box.
Yeah. That's a marquee.
It's like a marquee sign, and as I went back to read the guidelines, it says that it has to be a sign if it is mounted on top of the awning that is flush with the building. So I don't know if that goes against the guidelines there. And I also had a question on the actual scale of the sign. I'm not sure as to what the actual facade, the size of that is being considered here, but it's at 7% of the storefront. That so what would, do you know what that would be, what the equation for that is?
I don't know because all the building department explained to you last time was that the only consideration that they had for the signage was
The
what you
location.
were seeing, the location and the size, that it complies with the zoning.
Right.
But regarding the percentage on what is already there, he didn't mention anything.
Okay, because I kind of took, and I don't know how you look at this from an architect's.
Well, there's a siding ordinance also on size of sign. That's building department though.
Exactly,
From the
that's
size,
why Victor was here, the
Okay, and
building
he approved the size of the,
department
because that's
director.
24 square feet.
Yes, he did, but
It's
again,
bigger
what
than-
he had in front of him was
It's a little big.
just the sign.
Yeah, that's bigger
Not
than
the
what
rest
the
of it.
minimum or the maximum.
Well,
requirements
we don't discuss the size in this board, but it's their board, unless they get a variance, because there's
It's
a
by
signage
ordinance.
ordinance.
It's
Then that
ordinance.
falls to the building department, they'll say whether the size is good or not, so.
But on our guidelines, it says that it
Yeah.
shouldn't exceed 7%.
are. Right.
So that's my question on that, you know, and just with the inches that I got from the plans, and I don't know as an architect how you would read what the actual
The facade
storefront.
is the whole front.
The whole front,
The top of the
so,
building.
to the
so-
top of the building, so we don't have that.
But it's 20, I mean, still 24 square feet.
You know, when, well, I guess we could save that for the discussion, but.
Is there, yeah, and I'm
I'm
wondering,
just, yeah, I'm just concerned that, with regards to the frosted glass, that perhaps, y'all kind of jumped the gun, because you should have come before our board, since it's affecting the exterior. And that signage, does not comply with, I mean,
well,
obviously it's not color, but the font and stuff.
yeah, but I mean, it would be brought, it could be brought before the board, and it may be approved by the board. I mean,
Yeah.
we can't say it doesn't comply,
Mhm.
it still hasn't, you know, I'm understanding it hasn't come to the board. My
It
only,
never
I mean,
came to
like
the
on this
board.
one, you know, since this is like Collector Street going eastbound, or westbound, no, eastbound.
He's
I
spelled.
mean, you really, I mean, and you have those canopies, do you really see signage above that?
Well, I had proposed to do a
Yeah.
hanging sign from
Yeah, from
the,
the
but
canopy.
apparently that didn't pass or the height.
There's not
wasn't-
enough height.
Well, and
to
then
the-
would they consider not doing any signage, just keeping it on the windows?
I think what the
Because it's an
logic,
elevation when you're driving by, I mean, you never.
yeah, the logic that was explained to us was that people coming in from the south could see it.
Pedestrians, because there's,
Pedestrians
yeah, because it's
coming
still southbound traffic right in front of it. The
Yeah.
cross street is southbound, in front of the
Yeah.
Hamilton.
So the only ones who would see it would be northbound pedestrians.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is a statement in the guidelines that say, that does put a restriction on how many signs are on the facade of the building, and right now I'm seeing multiple signs on the building. So yeah, I mean, we do have to consider that. If those signs are already on the building, do we consider the window signs as signs?
It's up to you.
You know, it's something, again, that may have not been brought up last time because it was a little spur of the moment, in my own opinion.
But in their presentation, they did not mention that those were already there.
In place.
Oh, I didn't notice them up until you brought them, you know. So, I don't know.
I think we can do two things. We can consider the whole facade, or we can consider just the item that's being presented today. I did some quick math and just assuming if the facade was 25 feet by 25 feet in height, just the ballpark, 7% was 42 square feet, and the sign is 24, and then you have to add all the other little ones.
Yes,
So
yeah.
it may be within or it may not be, you know, I just did a quick math. So one thing that you should know that when Alejandrina sent me the agenda item, I replied to her with all the missing information that we requested last time. And the submittal is not complete. They still did not submit everything. So if we want to, you know, act on it with the limited information we have, Is it sufficient to make a decision, or do we need to request the missing information?
Madam Chairman, one question I have is, just for consistency, because in our guidelines, we talk about a historical palette, and they're under, I think, Sherwin-Williams color palette. Are these Pantone colors, or are they part of that palette?
May I answer from it?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir. It was researched and it did go with the Sherwin-Williams authorized historical colors palette.
So also those numbers are from Sherwin-Williams, or?
Yes, sir. The
No,
ones that we
they're
provided,
Yeah,
and
they're
yeah,
Pantone.
yeah,
not on that one, but the one that we submitted, the supplemental
Oh,
one.
okay, yeah.
This one has.
And the reason I'm asking, not that we approve it, or I personally approve or disapprove, is just that when people come here, we're always, we need to be consistent as a board, because we ask them Sherwin-Williams, historical colors that have been accepted,
Yes.
and, Pantones are really just a.
The ones submitted are not Sherwin-Williams, they're Pantone on that handout you gave. So we would need to have reference to the Sherwin-Williams colors.
And they can match it, they can match
They
it.
can match it, yes. Yeah. But
But
I
just
looked,
so-
I looked up the
Yeah,
Pantone
okay, yeah.
colors, but then I was gonna have to work at.
And just so we're
making that
consistent with
match.
other people that apply.
Yes, yes.
And it being the city, I mean, we all need to set the example and be as explicit in what you're trying to do, instead of just giving us piecemeal here, and then, oh, we're gonna present it to the board the very day. I mean, we've had to send people back to the drawing board several times because they've taken the same route. So we need to be, out of fairness to the city, y'all need to be more explicit when you bring something before the board, and not just turn in an application and some black and white copies and be done with it. Just as we're asking all these other folks, private individuals and business entities to do due diligence, we also expect that, probably more so from the city.
The colors being presented here, it shows 3, but it's actually 4 considering the black also, right?
Yeah. Or 5 if you consider the white.
The white.
And my concern on that one that you're looking at is the, let's say, brown and red backgrounds with black letters. It's not going to read well from a distance, unless these colors are in a good representation of the colors that were selected. But you may want the letters to be white.
Yeah, not enough contrast.
Right, there's not enough contrast. From a distance, it's just going to all look dark, I'm not opposed to the colors, I'm just making, and that was part of what I replied to Alejandrina
Yeah, that's a good comment.
to mention. But going back to the sign, not the sign ordinance, but our guidelines, in terms of what was presented last time, a box sign is not in keeping with the
Historical integrity.
yeah, so it would need to be a panel sign as opposed to a box sign. I would question the darkness of it, so they can be read well. And then someone needs to give us either enough information to do the 7% calculation or submit it, identifying that it does meet the 7%. Including the signs are at the windows.
Yes.
And I think we've also, in other cases, mentioned when something is not included in the package, it's hard to act on if it's not, or it's not just hard to act on, but it's against our policy because we need to go by what's on record.
Yeah.
And so we do need the record to show that the city submitting all the signage on that facade, not just the one sign. That would be an accurate thing to submit. And that way we can include in our approval process the frosted signs that are on the windows.
Did y'all ever consider just doing this instead of the white background, just having almost like an emblem thing,
A cutout.
a cutout?
This design was initially handed down to us from the actual agency itself. And I think they had it designed in Mexico somewhere, so we kind of got that forward over to us. I will look into it and I can ask to see if you just want to include just the actual emblem itself and not the whole box
Yes.
format. I think this is what I'm hearing from you, from the committee here.
That
Or
would
the
be
commission.
very appropriate.
That, and then the whole question that the point about the marquee, the box itself, they try to keep them really narrow because it's hard to control the thickness of the signage.
Right.
You know, so.
So it's gonna be a metal, you know, a metal lining on it, right?
Well,
Would
if it's
it be?
yeah, it'll be, you know, the marquee signs, they have that depth to them and, you know, it's hard to control.
And we reviewed the guideline and it says it has to be flush
Mhm.
with
Yeah,
the
I think
building.
that- was
It can be wood or it
This
can
was
be
like, was it
metal.
like 3/4 inch or something, right?
Something, yes, yes.
Yeah.
It had to be wood or metal painted, wood or metal painted sign. I have an issue with all the signs on the windows and a sign over the canopy and sign everywhere. I understand that visibility is important, but I think we're losing the integrity of the building.
Yeah.
We are. And I don't think those signs, looking at it now, it's hard to tell, but it seems that it has that font
Yeah, it does.
that we did not approve.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate when things are done without the proper steps, because then things like this happen where things are already up and now they may have to be corrected or,
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate because it's going towards a good cause, but we're here to enforce
The policy.
the policy. And I really wish they would have just brought
The whole package.
the whole package.
Yeah. Did y'all not think about, the ramifications, or did y'all just?
Well, she's only.
I realize
representing,
that, but
yeah.
I mean, I guess if you could communicate this to community development, because, we're looking at everything, the sum total of all parts.
And now that I think about it, I think the senior activity center next door, that's a gym also, I think has the same frosted signs.
And I think that was what was kept throughout I keep maintaining that motif.
They did the whole
across,
building.
Yes. Mhm.
They did the whole building.
And it's not frosted, it's actually a decal.
It's a decal.
It's a decal.
Yeah.
So then
And it goes against our guidelines?
No, just, frosted is another technique.
Yeah.
It looks like frosted, it's very close to it.
Well, and I think this is what this is as well, because I went over there and that's what I saw, that it appears that it might be a decal in front of that one,
Yeah.
that glass.
That's what it is,
Yes.
So for that gym, did they come over also to approve?
Not while I've been on the board.
No.
I don't know, for the people that have been here longer, I don't know if that ever came.
No.
No.
No, because I say we approved something like that, so I guess not again, we just have to.
No, that was,
be
I think, about a
consistent.
year and a half ago, or a year ago.
Yeah, no, it was kind of done on their own, but.
Do you remember, Alejandrina, if that ever came to the board, those frosted windows? Or
No.
decal
They
windows?
haven't,
It was just
no,
done.
no.
So what happens when they do something without our
It's up
authorization?
to the board. They're the ones
Um,
making the
We
decision.
need to,
That was the city, so.
but nonetheless though, we have to hold them to the same standards that we're holding everybody else who comes before the board. And more so, the city is bound to be extra stringent because they're supposed to set the example. So that's a concern.
Do we have any more questions? Yeah, do we have any more discussion or?
Ms. Teniente, do you have any questions?
No, I'm just going to go based on whatever the commission recommends and suggests, and then we'll have to adjust. I'll go back and I'll take a look at the email that Ms. Fonseca sent over to Angie and see, to Alejandrina and see what was in there. I don't think I saw it. You might send it to Nava?
Yes,
Okay.
he actually went to the office and we talked about it.
Okay.
Well, I'm just gonna say, I guess if we're gonna question the frosted glass or the decals,
everything.
Cross that look
Then
off.
we need to then call the city and we can ask them to possibly remove this and not ask the city next door, not do the
Because
same.
would we do the whole building at the same time, or would it be?
They're two different entities. One side, it's the Parks and Recreation Department, and then the other side, the pantry that you're looking at right now, this is in collaboration with Community Development. So we're looking at two departments that have handled it, I guess, similar.
So I guess right now, because this is an agenda item, we have to treat community development and then determine.
Determine the other space,
Yeah.
if that should come.
Okay. Yes, do we want to close the public hearing?
I move to close public hearing.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then the next step is, do we have a motion?
Okay, I move to table this item to a time uncertain to allow community development and the folks from Joseph's Storehouse to revisit the sign, taking into consideration our commentary. And to also address the issue of the signage and the glass windows, because there's already going to be an inconsistency with what they're doing
Their
and
proposal?
what they're proposing and what is embedded in the, or affixed or
Yes.
whatever in the glass.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? So the item is tabled.
And, please bear in mind, we do appreciate what the church is doing. I mean, no, you're not gonna get a single negative vote on the good work and the need that they're addressing. But, on the other hand, we need to also abide by the standards set forth for this board. So,
So noted.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
That wasn't a hard one.